I'll be using some packages, some libraries and all, right? Okay. So I believe that you all know the basics of Python, but still we are going to groom up with the 2 days, right? So this is a high-level object-oriented interpreted programming language, which is like based on an interface kind of thing, right? So many of them has a confusion, right? Because it is given everywhere on the web and on all wherever you see that Python is an interpreted language, right? But exactly this is, yes, it is an interpreted language, but it is compiled. Right? How it is, first of all, the codes whatever you write in the Python are being compiled, and then the compiled codes are being interpreted, and that is ultimately. But the process is so fast that cannot see the process of the compiling, right? So only you see the process of interpreting, and that's why we say it's a kind of interpreted machine, right? Okay. So this, in very simple words, is a high-level dynamic programming language which is interpreted. That's all. What do you say on, right? Okay, right. So features are there. A lot of features are there, right? Simplicity, open source, portability, extensible and embeddable, being interpreted. Huge amount of libraries are there to work on. Like why we go with the data science part, right? The web development, or go with the Android development things, object-oriented problems, right? But when we say Python interpreter, this is a computer program that directly executes or like performs the instructions written in a scripting language uh, like uh, without requiring them to have a compiled into a machine language kind of thing, right? So ideally is like one of the things which is important, like whenever you go with any of such fields like machine learning or data science, anything, right? You have to choose your own ideal. You can go with the Jupyters, you can go with the PyCharms and all, like, right? So I'm going to use Jupyter, right? Basically, I'm not going to use the PyCharm right now, right? Because okay, so I will be using Jupyter Notebook, right? So this is like one of a very powerful way to iterate, you can say, iterate on your Python and the data analysis, right? So this is built on an IPython kernel, right? And this is basically a front end interface, you can say, right? I think that's clear. Okay, so Python are very easy thing, and I think that is familiar to everyone, right? So very first thing is going to start up with the keywords. Now what are keywords? These are nothing but some special names that are already present in Python, and we can use these keywords for specific functionalities while writing any Python program. I guess, right? Okay. If I say talking about keywords, then you might know the things, right? So how many keywords are there? How can we understand it? How many keywords are present there in the Python? Anyone who know, right? Anyone who could answer? Yes. How many keywords are there? Like in the Python, and go with the basics, right? We have just started. We have 10 days yet. Let's make it a interactive session. Anyone who knows any example of a keywords? All right, fine. No issues.
Float.
Float.
Hmm.
That's a type basically. That's a data type, you can say on, right? That will not come under the like sorry, not functions. I'm saying the keywords, right? Keywords is something different. What I say, the keywords are some special names. So float is not a name, right? That is a data type, or you can say special functions.
Class.
What you said plus
Yeah.
pronunciation.
If else.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
uh,
So that
for
can be yeah, for
wisely.
yeah. So that can be called as a keyword. So how many keywords are there? Anyone will answer. Just a marginal value you can say.
32.
32. All right. Let's see. So I'll be just writing help of keywords. That's it, right? And a list of keywords will be displayed in front of me. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 cross 4, 36 minus 1, 35. Right? So these are the keywords basically what we are going to focus on, right? All that belongs to the Python family, all that we use while writing a Python program for having a specific. Every keyword is having a specific functionalities between them, right? Okay. So not only this help of keywords will work. The help is another function basically, right? That gives you a documentation help. Whenever you write help in the Python, you get a documentation of any standard, let it be a function or let it be a package, anything. But going writing with as a code, you can import the keyword and then you can write keyword dot kw list. So get a list of all the keywords. See, it's easy, right? Also, if you want to check this, so whatever KW list will be giving you all the keywords in the Python, right? If you want to check something, let's say I'm writing keyword is a keyword or not, like kind of thing, right? And in between, if I write try, so keyword try is a keyword or not, we'll be searching on. I can say this will search and return a discrete value whether a name you wrote is available in keywords, right? These are the things. So finally, I'm getting a true value. It means try comes in the keyword. That is the thing, right? So that is what we're going to do today, right? All the basics parts. Okay. Now, you might have also heard about the identifiers. Yeah, anyone could answer what are identifiers? Quick. Yes, identifiers. Anyone? Any guesses? What we can say on the? These are easy things, guys.
Function names, variables, array names.
Function names. Yeah. So identifiers are basically the user-defined names, whatever you define, right, to represent any variables or classes or any functions or modules, anything, right? So these are the things, right? So how we do, right? For let's say if I'm saying name is equals to thieves, right? If I say my identifier is equals to name. So what I have done is basically I have made a variable where I'm storing a string, and then again made a variable where I'm again storing a variable name over there, right? So that's being a identifier basically, right? So whenever you go for either printing the my identifier or you go for printing the name, you'll be getting the same thing, right? Right? Okay. So you must be familiar with the comments and all, right? If you want to define comments in one line, what you'll say?
Single line comment.
No, 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 no. That is a type of comment. If you want to like define comments in one single line, what you'll say? Yeah, like description or any such thing, right? What is if someone asks what is comment, how will you describe?
Something that explains the program you're writing.
Something that explains the program. Okay, in place of program, you can correct one thing.
A readable language, into a readable language that a person can understand.
Yeah. So, the first statement, what you said, the thing can be like at a program. Okay, so that is to be corrected. You can say something which can like describe a block of code. That would be better, right? So instead of program, because program consists a lot of codes, right? Right. So program comments can be used to like describe what a block of code means particularly, right? So comments are a programmer coherent statements that describes a block of code, what exactly that block of code means are, right? And that is a yes, obviously a readable language for humans and all, like, right? So these are very useful when you are writing with the large codes, when you are building projects and all, right? Because it's practically inhuman to remember the names of every variables when you have a like 100 page of program and so like things, right? So making use of comments will make it very easy for you to, or like any someone else to read up the code very quickly and easily, right? So there are two types. One, I think someone has said like single type comment and multi type comment, right? Basically, so that is the thing, right? So this is single line. Multi-line comment. Oh, sorry, multi-line comment. Whatever I have used over there, right? I could see. Okay, fine. So that's being the thing, like variables and all these things. Now, anyone could answer what is the ID function? Says you. I've been informed that you all are learning Python in your classes right now, right? You have been all learning. So, till where had you gone through? What is the last topic you have learned, like in your classes? Yes, Punita. What is the last topic?
So ranges.
Ranges. Okay. So, what is the use of ID function? I think they might have taught you ID function. Yes, yes. Anyone? ID function. See, these are the very basic things which many times some things are skipped up, right? What is that?
It's something which is inbuilt, so
Yeah, this is an inbuilt. So this is an inbuilt function of a Python. So what it does, it gives or returns you the identity of any object, right? Identity. What identity means? See, if I say x is equals or let it be, I'm having name and my identifier, right? If I say print id of name, something called as like locations, the things, right? Now when the things are same, so the output whatever you get is the identity of the object, like whatever I'm passing in. This is so function particularly called as id, and then the object there. That's the thing. First you write the id and then the object, returning the identity of that, right? So this is random, but when running in the same program, when you run in the same program, this it generates unique and same identity. Okay, got it? All right. Like if you write id of 10, or let's say 2020. Similarly, you write id of X. See, this will be having a different ID numbers, right? All right, that is being discussed, right? You might ask your uh, subject teacher, like, what is ID function? They'll let you know in the very brief thing, right? What is the use? Like, they might be used in your semester also, because ID
Is
is
it
important.
ID same for like different for each and every person or what?
Sorry.
Is ID different for each and every person?
Yeah, but it can be same. Like when it is using in a same code, this can be C. If we relate
If
this
I
to C,
run this code,
you might
will I
be
get
you might.
another ID?
Sorry, I didn't get it. What you saying?
If I run this code, sir, whatever you've written,
Hmm.
if I run in my laptop, will the IDs will be same or different?
No, it will be different. Like not always same, right? If you have like according to the thing, like if you are writing up with the same things, like the same variables or the same names, then it would be same, right? So like if we relate this to C, then they are actually the impractical things. Like for the memory address, like what we read in C and C++, memory locations and address and all, that is exactly in this one. Okay, so here in this is a unique id. This function is basically used internally to generate the you can say memory address or the unique id of any variable, like any such things. You run this, see what you are getting. 2020 and theeks, it would be different, you know. Let's say if I'm having x equals welcome to theeks. Oops. And I say id of x, probably will be getting the different thing, right? ID would not be same. Check, anyone is getting the same ID? Okay. So when you use this in a same program, using the ID function for any same variable in the same program, you will be getting in the same locations, right? So that is important. So it generates unique and also the same identity when you use in the same program for things. Okay, good. You must ask your professors. Might tell you about more in like details if that this is included in your course. They'll let you know, right? Okay. Now coming up to the Python numbers, how uh, how we are going to classify here? What are the type of the numbers there are in the Python? Very good. Yes, yes. What are the basic Python numbers we go on? Okay, let me tell you. We go with integer, we go with float, right? We go with complex. What more?
Random numbers.
Yes. Yeah, so it's clear. Integer, float, and complex. Right. Okay, so random is one of the very important, we can say, module. Once again, sorry. Okay, that is to be important one to be discussed. 1 minute. Okay, so I'm not going to discuss about the like writing up all those things there, right? Just giving like 34, 56, and also I'll be taking the floats because you guys know the basics and all. Still revising up, like so that you can go up with your assignments and all whatever you'll be getting up, right? So this 34, 65.j, 56.3j, and all right things. Now, what are the types for seeing of the type? What we use the type function, type of x, type of y, type of z. Yes. Someone define what is integer? One single line. I believe in one single line definition. Yes. What is integer? Quick.
A positive and negative numbers with zero,
Positive and negative numbers,
including zero.
including zero. Correct. So integer holds the integer value, basically all the positives and the negative whole numbers. That's it. Okay. Float.
Which include decimal points.
Okay. So float holds the real numbers, decimal points, and even sometimes the scientific notations, like denoting as e. Sometimes. Okay, fine. What is complex?
It is a combination of integer, float, and alphabets.
Okay. So what is the like if I say this is z, right? Complex number. So combination of integer, floats, and the alphabets. Okay. So like what exactly is a complex? Not exactly a combination. What more it is? What more we say? Like in the class 11th, you might have learned like complex numbers. What do you have learned there? The complex number have two parts: real part and imaginary part. Right? So combination of R and Ri, or you can say real and imaginary parts. So what is the real part in this?
56.
How can I print that?
Like imaginary will be always with some alphabets.
Yeah, but how can I print that this is real and this is imaginary?
X plus Y I.
Real is independent and imaginary is dependent on
Yeah, those are the definitions. Like it is correct, obviously. But how I'm going to print? If I want to print something, this is real. If I say this is real, then should I write it like 56? This is real 56 like this? No, not exactly. So what should I write? So whatever the complex number is, right? Dot the real part. That's it. This is imaginary. Z dot imaginary. That's it. Very simple. This is real 56.0 and this is imaginary 3.0. Have you been taught in the class these two basic functions, real and imaginary? It's important. Yes, Punita?
No, not like this, sir.
Okay, fine.
Not this one.
So in a complex number is a form of a plus, or someone said like going with the x plus yj. Someone said like this, right? That is correct. A and b are the floats basically, or you can say x and y are the floats, and z represents the square root of -1, which is an imaginary number. We are going to discuss even those things, right? Let me write up this. 1 second. We'll be discussing these in the upcoming days. Oops, 1 second. Something called like in complex number we see something like iota kind of thing, right? So I multiplied by I gives you I square, right? When we talk about the complex things and all, right? I believe that is one easy thing in the complex number, right? What is the square root of I? Like square root of -1? Yes,
I.
that's the thing. Square root of -1 square. Once again. So this you are getting as I. So I multiplied by I, what it is?
-1.
Yep. We'll be discussing up many more things, right? For all the mathematical part and such things, whatever you discuss here, right? Could be x square plus y square. Easy mathematics. Solving other things over there. Alright, so this is not our primary focus for today. Let's delete this. Yep. Okay. Alright, so complex is being completed, right? Then we come up something called as Boolean. There's some discrete values, categorical values. So these are decisive data types which only return some categorical value that is either true or false. You can even perform type conversions. What is type conversion?
Converting from one type to another type.
How
Like
many
from
type
float to integer.
how many type of conversions are there?
3.
How many? Yeah, answer.
3.
Yeah, what are those?
From integer to float.
That
From
are
float.
the okay, got it. Yeah, I got it. What you are trying to say? The three type of things you can do, right? You can from integer to float. You can make from integer to whatever you are saying, float to complex or float to string, such things. I'm saying what are the types? These are the process what we do in the type conversions. What are the types? What two types of basically conversions are there in the Python?
Is it typecasting and
That is called as typecasting. Yes, you're going in the right path. Yes, answer. What are the two things? Yes, they're easy things. The two things are called as implicit type conversion and explicit type conversion. That's it. Easy things. You don't have to even remember up this, right? Okay. Whenever you learn something, go with the very basics foundation. Like because anything, these basics like what is variable and all this can be seen anywhere, right? So when we talk about type conversions, we talk about two different types, right? This is divided in two types: implicit and, if I say like implicit and explicit. That's it. Two different types. What is implicit? In implicit type conversions, Python or you can say the code converts one data type to another data type. Okay, right? Got it? Let me define here. Also, this is also not taught. Implicit. See, you are learning something in your course. Ask your professor to give in detail. Python automatically, like you can say, the codes converts one data type to another, right? And this process does not involve user, right? So no user involvement is not there. Got it? That means if I say an implicit type, if I'm talking about, right? If I say x is equals to 2020, and now if I want to change this in float, what should I do? Directly I should write float of x, giving me the results 2020.0, right? Correct? Same if I say y is equals to 45. And now if I say print x plus y, what I'm getting? One second, sorry. What I'm getting? 2064 5.3. What I've used? One integer, one float, getting the result ultimately as float. So have I changed the data types? No, that is being automatically changed, right? So that's a type that Python automatically changed the data type. That is called as implicit type, right? Because I'm not going to change this. But if I want to restrict this, I must be using like integer and all. If I want only the integer, so I must write it like this, integer. So I will be only getting the integer part. So when I am enforcing this, right, when I'm using my functions, right, when I'm using something, when I'm using function over there, that is called as explicit type. When I'm trying to convert any data type to any other data type, when I'm trying this, and when I am not trying, when the code it, or like you can say when the Python automatically converts, that is called as implicit type. Okay, clear to everyone? Having any doubts?
No, sir.
Thank you. Second. Okay, fine. So let's bring two things, explicit and implicit. Let's bring it down now. Okay, I'm being like giving us print and then like an integer value of x plus y, x minus y, whatever things should be taken, giving you the results. Yep, let's take it downwards. Okay, so that's being the thing that's like working out over there. Okay, then you come up with some of the modules, and the modules I must say like the packages I'm talking about, the random one. Someone said about the random. Okay, we'll discuss about those things too. And then what is exactly a random thing? What is a random module? What's exactly there? You haven't discussed with that too, right? What is random?
Oh, the shuffled Numbers which are not in the sequence.
Numbers which are not in the sequence.
Like it's jumbled.
Okay, it's jumbled. Right. Anything more? So, has random got any range? It must have got, right? Okay, no issues. Let's go with this. So, what practicals you have done with the random? What practicals have you done with the random thing? Yes. Punita, any practical have you done with the use of random?
Yeah, we have just imported random and I have given an example, sir.
Yes. Can you tell me the example?
Import random,
Hmm.
random dot rand range
Hmm.
2 comma 10.
So what this program means? What this code means?
You're just randomly selecting numbers from the range 2 to 10.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay. So what is going to be the highest value of this range and lowest value of this range?
Highest is 9 and the lowest is 2.
2. Yes. Okay. That's nice. If I say random dot random of 2 to 10, what is going to be the highest value and the lowest value? Yes. Guess. You have only given with the random range. See, what happens whenever you get a term, something called as range. So whenever you get a term called as range, that is a bad thing, right? So what happens? Last limit, whatever you write, you get a less one of that, right? So if this is something called as like x1 going till xn, okay? So if this is something coming up with the x1 going till xn kind of thing, then obviously the last thing, or you can say the last number, what you expect from a range is to be, what is that? Xn minus 1,
Yeah,
right? So this is a working of a range, how it works. But in case of random, you are getting 9, right? You will also get 10. Let's run this key. Yep. Okay. Right? See? I've also got 10. I can also get 2. So what happens in the random range? There you see there is a term called as range. So range of 2 comma 10. That means range of numbers going to be from 2 to 9. That's it. Here what you can see, rand integer 2 by 10. I say sorry, 2 comma 10. That means a random integer between 2 to 10. That's it. There is no such range. I want a random integer starting from 2, okay, and it can go in between 2 to 10. Got it? So that's being the thing. Okay. That can be used in the company we'll be using. Random dot random. What are you getting now? Let me do one thing. So you might have learned about the list too. List has been done, right? what I'm doing. So I've created a list numbers that for I in range, as you said that you are learning the loops of I think ranges right now. So for I in the range of 100, right, 100 times, what I'm doing, I'm appending this random function to this numbers, right? And let's see what comes. Done. What you can see, the numbers. Is there any number crossing 1? Can you see? 1000? Any number crossing 1? Right? You must know the various functions of the random. Alright, you must know these things. Let's take about only the 5 things, and that would be fine. 2 is better. So a random function, what does, it gives you a random number start like lying between 0 and 1, always lying between 0 and 1, always the things, right? That's a random thing. So learning more about the random, what you can do, you can just write hell and then can write simply the random. That's it. You'll be getting a official documentation of a random, and you can learn more with there, right? What is class, what are the functions we use in the random, what are the set state, what are the shuffle kind of thing, right? What are the various functions, like where it is, yeah, you have choice, you have choices, you have expo variate, you have normal variate, you have shuffle. I think something you have might have learned from here, that is like where is that range and all, yeah, that is where it goes, yeah, rand int, random, rand range, sample, seed, and all such things, right? You can even like there is a link will be given to you, right? You can click on this link to go like in the more details. Let me share to you, right? Let me share this. Okay. See, like this. So official documentation of the random Suraram nows, and you will be getting a things basically. Okay, so explore these things. These are the basic ones. Okay, fine. Let's get off this. All right. So our not focus is to go on the random things right now. So what more you can do with the random? Like I think for those who are the previous one, I think they might have discussed. I might have discussed with them, right? What we can do with this, right? So like all about the codes you get, or the OTPs you get, the IFSC numbers, like account number, what you get, any such thing which is being like, which is a long digit number or a short digit number, which is a unique one given to everyone, right? What can be there? That is basically used with the random, right? How? Let's say you might have learned about the functions, right? So integer is getting int, float is getting float, complex is getting complex, string has got str, right? Similarly, if I say str of 12, that is a string of 12, right?
The screen is possible.
Sorry,
The screen, it's in the help, sir.
1 second, sorry. That's okay.
Yeah.
All right, so str of 12 gives you str, like the 12th, basically, right? Similarly, if I say that random, like you are learning random, right? So random dot rand range, you say 23 to 45, 54, you get a number. Okay, so I generally use randint, so to like use any all those numbers. So if I say a number starting from 1 2 3 4 5 6 and going till 9 8 7 6 5 4, so obviously I'll be getting some 6-digit numbers. Now what I'm going to do, see, that's a pretty simple thing right now, right? So print is your one time Google verification code, and that's a very easy thing, right? It's run without any problems. Yep, you got something as like this is your one-time Google verification code. What you have done? Basically, you have taken some 6-digit numbers, random numbers, and you added a G, basically that with this, and you got something as a statement. What you get in a mobile, like somewhere else, right? Whenever you come with a card, like whatever your card, let's say there is an ATM card 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Like let's say this is an ATM card, right? Number. So how the ATM card numbers get a pin? And by default, you get a pin from a bank anytime whenever you create an account, whenever you go with the ATMs and all. By default, you get an ATM pin that is to be regenerated, right? How you get a pin for that? For every of the numbers, for every of the ATM, right? You get a random pin from there. How? Okay, how it is being done? So like mainly what happens, whatever the number it is, you go for finding the max and the minimum number first of all, right? So whatever the number would be, you go for finding the max and mean, and then what you do is you create a random integer of that maximum and the minimum number. Sorry, the minimum and the max. Like if it is like minimum number is something called as like 3, so you get 1 to 3 and 4 going to 9999, something like this, not in a series pattern. It could be 7 8, like 3098. So it never goes in a pattern basically. So you get something. Okay. Four three one zero, like one kind of pen, and this will be always a new one. Right? This could be always a new one, but also it can repeat. Remember, whenever you're working with a random, it can also repeat. How? Let's say you paid a list of something right there, and you say it's at for I in range of 100, or let's say 10, right? For I in range of 10, random g dot append. What? Random dot randint of 1 to 8. Okay, see, so I'm going to iterate for 10 times and I only have the range from 1 to 8. So am I going to get any same numbers, repeated numbers in the G? Obviously, but I'm getting 7383485515. That's the thing, right? So you have got, if you like see up the 5 1 2 3 times, 8 2 times, 3 2 times, right? This is not a good thing, right? Because whenever you are using random, you also ensure that you are not using duplicate values. So how to remove that duplicate values? So you can just go simply by you can say for I in the range of 10, you can get this SC is equals to this. Now if this C exists in this G, then continue. Let us skip. Okay, continue, or else append the C. That's being done. Append is not. Oh, sorry. Oops. Right. So C or G. However, you have run for the 10 times, still you are not getting any duplicate values. Got it? Right? We'll be seeing what is continue and all. Okay, I think that is came much of the thing, right? Okay, going. So these are the things, right? The random models and all, right? So how many operators you have discussed in the Python? How many operators are there?
Five.
5. Okay, name.
Arithmetic.
Arithmetic.
Comparison.
Comparison.
Assignment.
Assignment.
Logic. Logical.
Logical.
I think that's also.
Done.
Yeah.
Example of one arithmetic could be plus minus, right? Or let's say minus. Comparison example could be equals equals. Assignment equals. What comes in the logical?
Greater than, less than. No, and or.
And or. Next, something being left. Membership operator. In, not in, and all. Identity operators. Is and not is. Bitwise operators. Oh, one you are missing. Boolean operators. Alright, there are a lot of things. Mainly I think 6 or 7 something. Okay. Alright, so let's discuss the arithmetic one. The very easy things are there, right? So whatever you have got 1 plus 2 plus 3, that's being the addition, then doing subtraction. Alright, I have to do one by one. So let's say this is x and y going with 5 and 10, cool numbers. Now performing some operations, x plus y, x minus y, x multiplied by y, x divided by y, right? The 4 basic operations, 15 minus x, 15 minus 5, 50.5. What means, what does it say? X plus y, it's going 5 plus 10, 5 minus 10, 5 multiplied by 10, and then 5 divided by 10, right? That is being a fractional value you are getting, it is 0.5, 1 by 2, right? But what if we want to get an integer value with all this, like 15 minus 5, 50 and all, like we want an integer value, what we can do is, we can write x divided by y, giving us, floor division, integer division, whatever you say, exponential value, the remainder after dividing the thing, right? So x to the power of y, that means 5 to the power of y, that means 5 to the power of 10, giving you the values over there, and x divided by y, that is 5 divided by 10, leaving the remainder, 5 divided by 10 giving the remainder. Let's say like it's good if you write 100 divided by 3, leaving the remainder 1, you will get it a bit better. 2 to the power of 4, getting 16. I like such things, okay? And the 0 you can see up there, right? That's being in the arithmetic operators. I believe that is clear, right? All right, fine. So, okay. Now I'm going to learn one module, calendar. That's basically a module over there, right? So, what is today's month? Like, which month is going now?
September.
September. What is today's date?
Indicate.
26th. 22nd. So 2029. So we are going with September 2020, and today is 22nd, I think. Yep, right? It's being done, basically. Clear? When you want a calendar of any month, you can simply write calendar.month, and that's a way given over there, right? Yes. When our country got independent?
April 37.
What was the day?
15th of Yes.
That was the date. What was the day?
Okay, I don't know.
I think it's Friday. Might be. Okay, Saturday. Oh, sorry. This is 2020. 1947. Is it Friday? Yeah. Right. So this was 15 August. Okay. All right, fine. Okay, fine. So this is like how you can get a calendar for anything, right? There is a lot of things for a calendar. What you can do, see, for everything what I will be teaching on, you go search for the health, get a description, click on this, and get a lot of things, right? Like getting dates, getting month calendar, getting first weekday, year calendar, and all such things. Okay, cool. Not discussing up this, right? Because it's a data science path, not a Python. Okay, cool. Right. So like when like if you think, right, working with a, uh total year calendar, this is a month calendar, right? So we don't always need a month calendar, right? Like like if you go, right, so if you go to a calendar shop, right, nearby your house or right, residence, right, go and ask him, right, can you give me the calendar of 2040, 2050, 2060? Can you give me the calendar of 2030, 3000? Can you give me the calendar of 3000? Yes. What do you think? What should be the response? What could be the response from his side? So obviously you'll be getting something worse, weird, right? So calendar of any such year you want could be there in just one line of code. So 3000 calendar. You might not get this on the shop, but you can get this here, right? Let's write this in the Google. Calendar of 3000. See if what even something results from a 3000 giving you some results starting from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Let's see. Yes, starting from Wednesday, right? So this is all it has got over there, right? For any month, anything, whatever you search, you will be getting other things respectively. But this is not getting as an like offline kind of things. This is all online. You will be getting, right. Okay, fine. So that's being the thing, right? Moving up, calculation paths. Coming up to the calculation paths. In the string, we have two kind of things. What are the operations we could do in the string, guys? Operations, which mathematical operations, or like what are the operations we do in the string? I'm not talking about the methods and all. Operations like multiply, divide, and all. What the two terms are called up? Have you been given the introduction of string concatenation replication?
Yes, sir.
Right? What is concatenation? If I say x is equals to string, what is concatenation then?
Joining two strings
Joining two strings. So I say
to form one.
x plus equals to concatenation, and then printing x to get string concatenation, right? So what is replication then?
Replacing the string.
Replacing the strings. How? Mm-hmm. Like using x dot replace and like this. X by s, something like this. That's a function. That's not a method. Sorry, that is not a type what I'm talking. Replication is something different. When you are using mathematical operations with a string, that is called as replication. Like I have been said, x is equals to, let's say, string. Okay, so that's the x string. Okay, now if I say that x multiplied by 5, what are you getting? String for the 5 times. Is there any value for this? Or if I say x is equals to 23, 32 multiplied by 5, x something like this. Is there any such mathematical value for this? Have we got 32 multiplied by 5? No, right? But we'll be doing all these things later onwards. See, but in the case of mathematics, we can do this function is a different one. This is not a case of basic inter. This is something including in the in a course, right? We'll be going through this the module simply. You might not get in the contents, but we will be going through this, right? So this is called as replication. When you work with a string and you work with a mathematical calculation. Okay, let me give you an example. Let's say this is 1009080. Right? This is what I'm going to get as my output. I say A, B, and C. It's going to be 100, 180, and 90. What are the possible ways I can write this? Yes, answer quick. How can I write this 1008090? Quickly.
Concatenation. Concatenation.
Concatenation. That means A plus B plus C.
Yeah.
Wrong. This will be giving us an output of the additions 100 plus 80 plus 90.
In inverted codes.
Inverted codes. Okay. A plus B plus C. Again, you will be getting a wrong thing. That is A by
No,
C.
the value should be the codes. 180 and 90 should be the inverted codes.
Okay, so you want to change the question. See, you don't have to change the question. You change the values. STR of A plus STR of B plus STR of C. That is the question same. You change the values. 100, 180, 90. That's it. Got it? Clear? That's the thing. You can get it like once when I asked the very first when I asked this question for the first time to the students, what they did see, they were very clever, right? What they did, sir, this could be 1008090. That's the answer. Some have said, so this could be like why to focus on the gaps. So this could be A cross B cross C 1008090. Right? So there can be various ways to work with this, right? But the exact way, like converting this in a string and then printing up there, right? That's being the replication methods of this. Okay. All right. Then we have something called as comparison operators. I think that is pretty clear to you, right? If we have x and y 5 as 10, right? So if I say x greater than y, x less than y, x equals to y, x, sorry, where is that exclamation? Not equals to y, x greater than equals to y, x less than equals to y, and I hope I haven't missed any. I have missed something. Where is this x and y being something different? Oh, fine. False, true, true, false, true, false, true. It's nice. Similarly, there is something called as x. I think somewhere it is given. What this be? What was that sign? What exactly the sign was? Not equals, not equals, not equals. Okay, fine. Go on. So these are the comparison signs, right? Equals, like false, true, and all these things, right? And the comparison ones. Okay. Similar there is a lot of thing to focus on, right? One by one, going through all these things. Okay. That's being like whenever you get a question based on the mathematic part, you know, the like calculation parts. If this is this, then what is the calculation when you're going with this, and you haven't given a formula that we'll be going with the maths now. You haven't given that. What is the value of pi? There's something. Okay. What's the value of pi? 3.14, something like this, right? And if I say you have been given a formula that the radius of a circle, sorry, the area of a circle is equals to pi r square, right? So you have been given that whenever you want to find the area of a circle, you can quickly use pi r square method, right? Okay, let me remove this. We're getting the better area over there. Area of a circle is pi r square, right?
Yeah.
So, like, if you have been given a radius, how you are going to find the area? Let's say you are taking something input from the user, and that can be okay. So this is got, I think, in the markdown. Yeah. So that depends, right? Whenever you're taking input, it depends on like what kind of data you are taking. Like if it's a number, you might be taking it in. So by default, what is the input data type? Anyone knows? Default data type of an input statement?
String.
String. Good. So like if you want a number, you must have to do in an integer. And since I'm taking up radius, so I'll keep it as float. So float of input of like enter radius, and that's being the thing. The radius will be given. So print up that area of the circle.
So you didn't take the radius value.
Yeah.
Like you didn't read the variable of radius.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. So area of the circle with radius this is %f. So enter radius, let's say 2.5. So area of the circle with radius 2.5 is 19.6354, something like this. Right? Easy calculations you can say that, right? So going with such things over there. Then we come up with membership operators. What exactly a membership operator means? If I'm having a list of numbers, right? And I say that 3 lies in num. That's a correct statement, true statement, right? 3 is there in the num. If I say 50 in num, not a good statement, not a correct statement. But if I say 50 not in num, that's a true statement, right? That's working of a membership, like only in and not in. Okay. So always remember, like the discrete values, true belongs to 1. and false goes with 0 always, right? Okay, you know. So do you know the truth tables? Might have studied in the class 12 physics. Truth tables and or not gate and all. What is true and true? What is the truth table for and?
True.
Okay, so like making a truth table of and. Okay, so in and, what happens in and when you say true and true? What is that? True. Other everything is false, right? So I'm writing true as 1 and false as 0 right now. Okay, so true and true. 1 and 0, sorry. True and false. True and true. False and true. False and false. See, only with the true and true I'm getting true and rest will be the obviously false, right? So this is all about the and truth table. This is how it, oops, error. This is the and truth table. 1 0 0 1 1 1 0 1 0 0 0 0. Same goes with like inverse with this. This goes in inverse with all this or, right? Not exactly as the inverse. What happens there? 1 and 0 gives
1.
1. Good. 0 and 0 gives
0.
0. 1 and 1 1.
1.
0 and 1
1.
okay. And we talk about like, okay, let's go with this 0 0 1 0, right? Okay, fine. And let's talk about the not of 1,
0.
not of 0 1, right? False and true. Okay, fine. So these are the basic operators and all would be there in the case. Alright. Babylon strings are easy thing, right? So we'll be ending up today with the strings and the indexing part, right? Completing all the Python basics by tomorrow and then coming up with the data science part. So we'll quickly starting up with an NumPy. The very first important thing we'll be starting up with an NumPy, that is day after tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be completing up the Python basics and all. Okay. Fine. So what is a string? Anyone? What is a string? How you will define a string?
Array of characters.
Array of characters. Cool. Anything different?
Collection of different data types.
Collection of data types. No, not exactly. How we define strings? How we write strings?
With the quotes.
Someone said correctly, right? What?
Single or double quotes.
Yeah, by enclosing them in the quotes. Either single or double quotes, right? Okay. Alright, fine. So I'm going to use some of the operations specifically used in the string. Right. So let's go with this string ops. Custom string OPs. Okay. Right. Let's say this is a sentence. If I want to make what are, there are the circumstances, right? If I want to make the first S as capital, I think I've written long this way. Yes. My question is, my condition is to make S of sentence as uppercase. How we can write? What is the function? Have you gone through the string functions and all? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So what happens when you write uppercase? This is wrong. This will totally convert your string in an uppercase. What do you want? Only the capital S, first one to be the capital S. You can use capitalize. Right? And if you want the cases, total cases to be capitalized, you can write sentence uppercase. Right? Okay. Let's say this is the word, and I want in the lowercase. That's mean. So these are the basics, right? You can go easily with. So what I said, for any such things, go with the help, write str. You'll be getting a string help, and they will be getting all the functions. Don't go anywhere on the internet and searching for the things. Why to go anywhere else? Why you have got all the things here, right? What is case fold, what case fold does, what center does, what count does, what encode does, what ends with does, what expand tabs, find, format, index, alpha, and a lot of things are there. Go with the Python inbuilt functions, inbuilt methods, and all, right? Don't go with the internet things, right? Because internet, lot of things are being given, right? And that's not always correct also, right? So that's good, right? Okay. So that is like a lot of operations are there in the string. You can focus on any of the thing, right? What I'm talking about the indexing part is, indexing is something like giving or like locating any number of a string, right? If I say what is there, if this is a, let's say, string, and I want the first place of the string, that is t. So what is the 0th place then? S, right? So the first place is always 0 as a string in, like, okay, yeah, that's fine, right? In Python, indexing start always with a 0 from the left hand side. When you go with the like right hand side, you go with -1 g, right? So you have a word, you want to go for the indexings 1 and 2, that would not work basically, right? You have to write the range basically, sorry. So 1 to 2, that is O, right? Starting from 1, ending in the 1 only, right? Not going in the 2, that is working in the range. If you write 3, it will go in the 1 and 2. That's what the things. This is called as slicing. When you go for ranging in your index, right? Ranging in some particular data type, like let it be a string, let it be a list, let it be a tuple, dictionary, set, anything. When you're going with these things, right? Okay. I think these are clear, right? You'll be getting a link basically, like after half an hour, you'll be getting a link, right? So what your work is to complete the assignments and submit to our email ID will be given to you in the group. So you'll have to submit those things there, right? I think for today's this is enough, right?